You can make your bed every morning. You can wake up at 5 a.m. You can meditate, journal, drink that green juice, do every ritual they rave about, and you can still wake up broke. You can follow every piece of advice the online gurus preach and still have nothing to show for it, because wealth doesn't come from neat habits or sheets. It comes from systems that make money while you sleep. If you're not building one, someone else is, and they're leaving you behind. That's why today we're cutting through the noise. We're showing you the 3 things that actually create income from nothing. How to find people, how to talk to them, and how to sell them something that they genuinely want.
This isn't theory. We've spent over 30 years building real businesses from scratch, and one of them's now worth more than 20 million. And by the end of this video, you'll know how to build a business that can grow the same way with nothing but a laptop, a few conversations, and AI. Let's put this into real numbers, because that's where most people finally see what's possible. If just 2 or 3 people a day pay you £10 a month, you'll build £10,000 a month income in a year.
And that's not theory. That's what I was doing 40 years ago. Back then, it was £10 a month. Today, it ought to be £150 a month. So flip it. 1 new client a day at that price, and you're pulling in over £54,000 a month. That's more than £650,000 a year, built piece by piece while everyone else is still trying to get ready.
And the best part is, you don't need a huge audience or a complicated product, do you?
No.
You just need 3 things: a list, conversations, and an offer. That's the engine that builds wealth, and most people never even start building it.
And just so you know, this isn't theory. We've built real businesses, we've led real people, we've survived every mess the economy has thrown at us, and we're still doing it now. Everything we share here comes from experience, not guesswork.
We've helped hundreds of people turn side hustles into proper businesses. We've built wealth, raised a family, and created companies designed to last, haven't we? This isn't about hacks or quick wins. It's about building something that's real and sustainable.
It's called marketing, not the shiny, overcomplicated version they tried to sell you online, but the version that actually works. It's simple. Build a list, talk to the list, make offers, sell. That's it. That's the machine. Do that consistently and everything else falls into place. Most people never even get here. They're too busy trying to look impressive before they've even sold anything.
So why don't most people do this? Why, if it's that simple, do so many intelligent, capable people spend years stuck on the sidelines?
Well, there's an answer to that, because planning feels safer than risking. Building a list means putting yourself out there. Talking to people means they might ignore you. Making an offer, well, that means that they might actually say no. And no one enjoys hearing no, especially if you spent your whole life being told failure means you're not good enough.
Most people don't realise it, but all that endless planning and polishing is really just self-protection. It's easier to tweak a logo than ask someone for £10. It's easier to build a perfect website than to actually talk to someone. And it's easier to get ready than be brave enough to try.
And that's why this guru stuff sells. It lets you feel like you're doing something without actually ever leaving your own comfort zone. Business doesn't reward plans, it rewards action. The only real difference today is the tools. They're faster, smarter, and certainly more powerful than anything that we had. And if you use them well, they'll help you build quicker, but they still won't do the work for you.
And the biggest of those tools, the one rewriting the rules for solo founders, is AI.
And here's the thing about AI. AI doesn't replace the basics. It doesn't change what actually works. It just removes the excuses.
Yeah.
You still need a list. You still need an offer. You still need to sell. But now, instead of taking 3 weeks to write a few emails, AI will help you to do it in just an afternoon.
I mean, when we started out, there was no such thing as AI. Everything was built the old-fashioned way. It was face-to-face meetings, wasn't it? Phone calls, real conversations. I still remember when fax machines turned up, and that felt revolutionary. We didn't even have computers. That was the world we were in when we had our breakthroughs. And even then, the core was the same. People, conversations, offers.
But in this new world, this is a game changer, especially if you're the one-person business. Suddenly, you've got access to tools and resources that used to belong only to big companies with really big budgets.
ChatGPT, it launched in November 2023, and by the 1st of December, we were already using it. Now it's built into everything that we do. It drafts our messages, it helps with research, supports our marketing. It's part of how we run the company.
And I'll tell you this, if I was starting out today, do you know what my goal would be?
No, tell me.
Okay, I'll tell you what that goal would be. To become the first solo entrepreneur billionaire. One employee, me.
Yeah.
Everything else done by AI. That's how powerful this stuff is. It levels the playing field. It gives one person the reach and capability that used to take whole departments of people. And the ones who learn to use it will leave the rest trailing behind.
And that's why we keep saying, if you're not using AI yet, you're already behind. It's not optional now, it's essential. But let's pause for a second, because this is where you need to be really honest with yourself. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They stall because they're stuck in the getting ready stage.
And if that's you, you're not lazy, you're not weak, you're just plain old human. We all cling to the things that feel safe, the tidy desk, the perfect website, the colour-coded plan, because they give us a sense of control. But wealth, it doesn't live there. It's never built in the comfort zone.
So here's the question I'd love you to sit with. What's one small thing that you could do today, just one, that would move this from an idea in your head to something real?
Because here's the truth, the people who build wealth aren't braver or smarter or luckier. They're just the ones who keep doing the uncomfortable thing again and again. And if you can learn to do that, you're already ahead of most people that are still polishing their plans instead of changing their lives. Here's the part that most people never face. And I don't say this to criticize, just to be honest. They don't build wealth because fear gets the final say. Fear of silence, fear of rejection, fear of falling flat when it finally counts. They stay busy instead, planning, tweaking, learning, watching, all the things that feel like progress, but don't move them forward. But busy isn't the same as building, and none of it counts until you're actually in the game, talking to real people and asking for real money.
This isn't about guilt, it's about clarity. If you're serious about building wealth, you have to stop admiring the idea of success and start doing the things that actually make it real.
And that's where the real gap is between the talkers and the builders. Talkers, they wait until they feel confident before they move. Builders move and the confidence shows up afterwards. I know how easy it is to get stuck in that pattern because that's exactly where I started. In the early days, I wasted time. I focused on all the wrong things, the bits that felt safe, instead of doing the one thing that actually mattered, speaking to people. So I set myself a rule, one new client a day. That was the target. I treated it like oxygen. Every morning I worked my leads, every afternoon I followed up, and I didn't stop until I hit that number. And remember, this was 40 years ago. There was no email, no social media, no website. My options were simple. Handwrite a letter, pick up the phone, or knock on someone's door. But I didn't have any money, so letters needed stamps and that cost. Phone calls cost too, so I used shoe leather. I figured it would take about 6 months to wear out a pair of shoes going door to door. And by then, I'd have earned enough to replace them. Because of that, speaking to people directly became normal to me. It built resilience. and it taught me how to influence people face to face. But I was terrible at closing. People would say, "I'll call you back tomorrow," or "I'll get back to you next week." And I believed them. When I didn't, I was too nervous to push. What I was good at was referrals. That part I really nailed. I'd get people to dig out their Christmas card list, think about their clubs, their colleagues, and I'd leave meetings with 20 new names to ring. That meant I never ran out of people to speak to. Then one week something clicked. Someone bought from me. Then another, and by the end of the week I'd signed someone up for £10 a month. The relief was huge. I was at the end of my tether, starting to believe maybe I wasn't cut out for this. But that one yes changed everything. Once you know you can do it, you never doubt yourself in quite the same way again.
And that's the part most people miss. It's not about being perfect, it's about staying in the game long enough for it to click.
This is the part that separates a hobby from a business. 3 moving parts, and if you master them, the money will follow.
First, list. Without people, you don't have a business. You've got an idea. Every name and email is potential income, so start building that list, even if it's just 20 people.
And the second one's emails. Talking to people builds trust and tells you what they actually want.
And then third, offers. All the conversations in the world mean nothing if you never put something in front of them and ask for the sale. Even if it's rough, even if it's small, make the offer, ask for the sale.
And those 3 steps, build, talk, sell, are the engine. That's the machine that makes the money. Everything else, well, that's just polish.
You don't need a perfect plan, a viral idea, or a 6-figure launch. The people who succeed are the ones who do the simple things over and over again.
So do one thing right now. Build your list. 20 names, 50, 100, whatever you can, because once you have people to talk to, everything else becomes possible.
And if this hits home, subscribe and stick with us, because next time we're showing you how to grow that machine once you've built it. Same principles, just bigger numbers, bigger results.